Edgar Allan Poe, born on January 19, 1809, in Boston, Massachusetts, is one of the most iconic and influential figures in American literature. Known for his mastery of the macabre and his pioneering work in the genres of horror, mystery, and detective fiction, Poe's life was marked by both literary brilliance and personal tragedy. His stories and poems, filled with themes of death, loss, and the supernatural, continue to captivate readers around the world. Poe was born to traveling actors David and Elizabeth Poe. His early life was marked by tragedy. His father abandoned the family when Poe was just a year old, and his mother died of tuberculosis shortly after, leaving Poe an orphan by the age of 2. He was taken in by John and Frances Allan, a wealthy couple from Richmond, Virginia, who gave him his middle name, but never formally adopted him. Poe's relationship with John Allan, his foster father, was fraught with tension and conflict, particularly over financial matters and Poe's desire to become a writer. In 1826, Poe attended the University of Virginia but was soon plagued by financial difficulties. His foster father sent him to university with insufficient funds, and Poe turned to gambling to try to cover his expenses. This led to significant debt, forcing him to leave school after only 1 year. The strained relationship with John Allan reached a breaking point, and Poe left the Allan household to pursue his own path. Poe's early career was a struggle for recognition and financial stability. He briefly attended the United States Military Academy at West Point, but was dismissed in 1831 due to intentional neglect of his duties, a move he orchestrated to escape the military and focus on writing. His early poems, published in small collections, received little attention, and he struggled to make a living through his writing. In 1835, Poe began working as an editor for the Southern Literary Messenger in Richmond, where he gained a reputation as a scathing literary critic. His biting reviews earned him notoriety, but it was his fiction that began to set him apart. In 1836, Poe married his 13-year-old cousin, Virginia Clem, a controversial union that was both deeply affectionate and troubled by financial insecurity and health concerns. Poe's breakthrough came with the publication of the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket in 1838, but it was his short stories and poems that cemented his reputation. In 1841, he published The Murders in the Rue Morgue. Often considered the first modern detective story, introducing the character of C. Auguste Dupin, a prototype for future fictional detectives like Sherlock Holmes. This story set the foundation for the detective fiction genre, showcasing Poe's ingenuity and narrative skills. Poe's most famous work, The Raven, was published in 1845 and brought him national fame. The poem's haunting rhythm and melancholic tone captured the public's imagination, making it one of the most famous poems in American literature. The Raven explores themes of grief, loss, and the search for meaning, reflecting Poe's fascination with death and the supernatural. Despite its success, Poe earned only a small amount of money for the poem, which was indicative of his lifelong struggle with poverty. During this period, Poe continued to write short stories, including The Fall of the House of Usher, The Telltale Heart, The Mask of the Red Death, and The Cask of Amontillado, which are now considered classics of Gothic literature. His stories are characterized by their exploration of psychological horror, unreliable narrators, and the fine line between sanity and madness. Poe's life was marked by a series of personal tragedies, most notably the decline and death of his wife, Virginia, who suffered from tuberculosis. Her prolonged illness, which lasted several years, took a heavy toll on Poe, exacerbating his struggles with alcohol and depression. Virginia's death in 1847 left Poe devastated, and he sank deeper into despair. In his final years, Poe continued to write and lecture, but his mental and physical health deteriorated. His attempts to start a literary magazine, The Stylus, never materialized due to lack of funding. In 1849, while traveling from Richmond to Philadelphia, Poe was found delirious on the streets of Baltimore under mysterious circumstances. He was taken to a hospital, where he died on October 7, 1849, at the age of 40. The exact cause of his death remains unknown, with theories ranging from alcohol poisoning to rabies, epilepsy, and even murder. Edgar Allan Poe's influence on literature is profound and enduring. He is considered a master of the short story and a pioneer in the development of detective fiction and science fiction. His exploration of the darker aspects of the human psyche has inspired countless writers, and his work continues to be read and studied around the world. Poe's ability to evoke fear, melancholy, and a sense of the uncanny through his meticulous use of language and psychological insight remains unmatched. Poe's legacy is also marked by his contributions to literary criticism. His essays on writing, such as The Philosophy of Composition, in which he described his approach to writing The Raven, offer a rare glimpse into the creative process of a literary genius. His insistence on the unity of effect in short stories and poems has influenced generations of writers and remains a cornerstone of literary theory. Despite his tragic and tumultuous life, Edgar Allan Poe's work has achieved an almost mythical status. His stories and poems explore themes of death, madness, and the supernatural with a sense of beauty and terror that has captivated readers for over a century. Today, Poe is celebrated not only as a master of Gothic horror but also as a literary innovator who expanded the boundaries of fiction and poetry. This biography provides an overview of Edgar Allan Poe's life, his major works, and his enduring influence on literature and popular culture. This has been a quick biography created by the team at Best Audiobooks for free, published on both YouTube and Rumble. Please subscribe to our channel, as your subscription allows us to bring you more great free content. Please look to our website at www.bestaudiobooksforfree.com for a complete list of our audiobooks.